Hi, welcome to Baby Adventure. In this video, we will learn how to do a complete coolant change and learn a bit about cooling system in Yezdi Adventure. For this, we need a socket 8, 10, new coolant, small funnel, cloths, flat-headed screwdriver, pliers, collecting pan, and distilled water. Only do this if you are able to open the radiator cap. Okay, let's learn about the hoses. The top hose from engine to radiator sends hot coolant. The hose in the middle for internal circulation of the coolant bypassing the radiator. Third one is connected to the water pump and radiator. This is reservoir. As I said, the radiator cap is key. I have opened these slits using flat screwdriver as they are pressed too tight. You want the radiator to be airtight, so they are pressed tight. So I use flat screwdriver to loosen the slits of radiator cap. After loosening them a bit, rotate the cap counterclockwise, pressing it down as it has spring inside. After smoothly rotating once, it will stuck at a certain point. Then you have to press down and rotate it again. This is key. The slits of radiator cap should touch the opposite sides of the knob over there. Then it will come out easily. Now we will open the RH cover of the engine using socket 8. Do not operate the engine bolts when the engine is hot. Never do it. It will strip the threads. I have stripped the bolt over the top of the RH cover. This is the right chance to clean the place. That is a drain bolt accessed with socket 10. Coolant pump or water pump, let's learn about it. Let's call it a coolant pump here. It has two hoses. One connected goes to engine. One in the bottom goes to radiator to collect and pump the cooled coolant in the radiator to engine by bypass valve works with the difference in the pressure. The coolant to engine is pumped to the hose in the middle. The hot coolant from the engine that is on the top, when thermostat is open, goes to the top of the radiator. We will learn about this cooling system further in the video. Let's proceed into the change of the coolant. Removing the sump guard to learn about the reservoir. The sump guard has 4 bolts accessed with socket 10. The reservoir has 2 hoses. One is used as the drain hose, pushes out the excess pressure along with the boiling coolant. One is connected to the radiator top, which is used in collecting of hot coolant and supplying coolant to the radiator when it is cold. Works on vacuum. Will explain further. Open the coolant drain bolt using the radiator cap. Adjust the pressure to collect the coolant. So place the funnel like this or use a pan to collect the old coolant. The pressure can be regulated by adjusting the radiator cap initially. Later on you can completely remove it. Collect the coolant from the reservoir using siphon method or remove the hose pump on the other end. I used siphon method here. I collected the old coolant. Look at the fins in the radiator. Put the drain bolt. Okay, once this is done, pour the distilled water, taking care that drain bolt is attached. The radiator takes around 800 ml and reservoir takes around 200 ml, completely 1040 ml. Once this is done, run engine for 2 or 3 minutes. Let the engine cool a bit. Then drain the distilled water. This is called flushing the old coolant. It removes the dirt, sludge or anything. Apply the same process as you drain the old coolant. Do it for 2 to 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. As the color of the coolant changes, I here did around 3 times I guess, or 4 times. Now I repeat this process again. Until then, let's learn about the cooling system. Your attention is required now. It consists of a coolant pump. It is also called as a water pump. Why? Because earlier water is used as a coolant. Now that coolant pump has two hoses. One connected to the radiator at the bottom, which has a bypass valve, operates on pressure difference. This pressure difference comes from the thermostat at the top. The other hose is connected to the engine. Okay, it circulates the coolant over there internally. The radiator has fins. We pour the coolant. It fills the radiator and goes to the pump. But you might have a doubt how the coolant pump is operated. Coolant pump is connected to the gear of the timing chain, which operates according to the engine speed. So this is done for optimal cooling. Now that the engine valves are supplied with the coolant, the heat is absorbed by the coolant. It is then knocks the thermostat, which is located at the hose connection at the top, to the radiator. If the coolant is not hot enough, the thermostat is in closed state. The coolant circulates internally and the bypass valve is closed. If it is hot enough, the thermostat opens and coolant goes to the radiator and the bypass valve is open. With the help of air and pressure difference, the coolant is cooled and back passes to the coolant pump. The temperature sensor measures the coolant temperature. If it isn't optimal, it switches the radiator fan in using forced cooling. At this stage, coolant might be boiling. Hot coolant expands and enters the reservoir from top. When the system cools, coolant contracts and vacuum is created. Then sucks the coolant back into the radiator from reservoir. Why? Because cool coolant reduces the space or volume. The process then repeats. Sometimes when the pressure is high, the coolant has drain hose. It expels out the coolant. Proper cooling system helps a lot in engine performance and NVH levels. Now we tighten the drain bolt properly and pour the coolant in the radiator around 1800 ml, around 800 ml, and the reservoir 200 ml or so, and start the engine idle for a minute or two so that the air pockets are formed in the engine. So we will not put the radiator cap now during this process. We want the air to escape from the system. Because air isn't any good, it heats up the engine. It's a bad conductor of heat. So now we'll start the engine. Once the coolant level is reduced, pour again and run the engine. Look for the leaks. Tighten the drain bolt properly. Tighten the radiator cap. So this is how it looks. The collected coolant after flushing. So I went up to that coolant level. You might look at the color of the coolant during flushing. So look for the level of the coolant and top up in the radiator or reservoir. As the coolant goes into the walls of the engine, the level reduces. So now we will tighten the sump guard. Remember, it has 4 bolts. Tighten the 4 bolts of sump guard appropriately, taking care that there is no stress on any bolt. Tighten the radiator cap so that there is enough pressure and there are no leaks. Tighten the LH cover only when the engine is cool. If you like the video, please like, share and subscribe for more informative videos. Thank you.